Hey, I just wanted to pop up real quick and do a brief overview and discussion of binary thinking, what that means, and why it can be dangerous. Okay, so binary thinking comes down to this or that, right? It's the black or white, it's the yes or no, the on or off, the one or zero, it's one or the other. And the binary thinking is when there's two options, right? You believe one thing or you believe the other thing, and there's no gray zone in the middle. And the reason that that can be problematic is our brains and our minds function in thought patterns. And those thought patterns happen as a series of if-then statements. If this, then this. If this, then this. If this, then this. Because we have all of these, experiences that are stored in our brain. Now, when with binary thought processes, when there's no middle ground, then you always tend to engage with extremes. If this extreme, then this extreme. If this extreme, then this extreme. Now, the thing is, it gets slippery because the more you engage with binary thinking, where it's black or white, it's up or down, it's this or that, the greater your tendency is to continue engaging in binary thinking. Again, because our brains work in patterns, our brains like what is familiar. And so the more you engage with this and that, yes or no, up or down, the more you will continue to see things as a this or that, yes or no, up or down, left or right. And before you know it, you've built almost a robotic sense of thinking, because that's what robots do. They have on or off, they have yes or no, they have one or zero. If one, then zero, or if one and one, then zero. And it's a series of if-then statements. And so if you constantly engage in binary thinking and you don't give yourself the chance to break that up and say, well, there is this space in the middle that doesn't exist in the extreme sides, then you break that process of constantly engaging with binary thinking. And the reason why that's important is because progress and growth happens in this middle zone. It's when you start to acknowledge, oh, there's something here that I'm not seeing. Let me go explore that. There's something greater than this, and there's something greater than that. And the thing that's greater lives here in the middle. So I would challenge you to start examining how you think about things and the way that you engage with other people, and see how often you engage with binary thinking. How often do you say it's one or the other? How often do you say yes or no? And see if that happens a lot, and then start to push yourself in the direction of, okay, how can I see what's going on in the middle here? Because the more often you break that cycle of binary thinking, the more you're able to explore options. And we can start to explore options, you can start to grow as an individual. You can start to develop as a person, and you can start doing it really, really quickly. So I just wanted to drop in, give that little nugget of information. If you got any questions or anything, feel free to drop it below. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. We are off to a new week. And I just wanted to start off this week by touching on something that I talked about last week, and it has to do with binary thinking. So last week I talked about the idea that binary thinking is the belief in this and that, yes or no, up or down. Now, this starts to present problems and also possibilities when it comes to belief systems, right? So belief systems are things that you believe to be true or things that you believe not to be true about any given thing in life. We have belief systems about money, we have belief systems about relationships, we have belief systems about, what we can do and what we can't do in life based on our circumstances. And so when it comes to binary engagement and binary engagement with belief systems, then you only think that you are or not capable of doing something. You have a belief system that either is or isn't. Really, in the best interest of doing is to start disengaging from that binary thinking, because when you
limit that pattern of thinking in this or that, then you start to disengage from the binary thinking around your belief systems, where you either believe something to be true or you believe something not to be true. And so when you disengage from the binary thinking around your belief systems, then you start to open up the doorways to possibility. When you stop believing in things in terms of, I believe this to be true and it can't be anything else, or I disbelieve this, this can't be true, but you disengage from the binary thinking around that, then you start to open up the doorway to possibility. So think about that. When you're approaching life, when you're approaching your relationships, you're approaching your thoughts around money and all of that, think about what your belief systems are around that. Think about if you're having a binary belief system around any of the topics within that about money. I don't have money, so I will always not have money. Or I do have money, so I always will have money. And find out if there's ways that you can engage in possibility by restricting your thinking to just two sides of belief, either belief or disbelief. So thanks for tuning in. If you got any comments, questions, feel free to drop them down below.